So we're loaded up and ready to go. We got a rod to catch bait. We got a rod to catch big fish. We got the kayak. We got the mask, snorkel, fins, and the mount for the GoPro for going in the water. Let's get out there and see what happens. They had some shrimp in stock today, finally. It's been a little rainy the past couple days, so the boats haven't been able to get out. And we're gonna head over to the bridge and see what we can catch. Maybe do a little free diving if the water's clear. Oh man, this is perfect. Beautiful blue skies, not a dot of wind. Should be an incoming tide. It's gonna be slack in about an hour or two. We're gonna jump in the water and get some footage for you guys in the water. And you guys wouldn't believe what's in the water. So many snook down there, it's crazy. I'm getting the boat off the car right now so we can do some fishing and let's see if we can catch some of those snook. But first, take a look at what I saw down there. All right, I got the anchor in the back if I need it. I got a couple lures. I got tons of shrimp. And just in case the shrimp don't work, I brought that little tiny hook that I was telling you about earlier. Maybe I'll show you all how to catch some moharas and some pinfish and some little spot tail pinfish on little itty bitty bits of shrimp. And I'm gonna tie a simple loop knot here. I prefer the loop knot to, say, a Palomar knot or an improved clinch knot because it provides a little more abrasion resistance, because snook can fray through your leader pretty easily, especially since I'm only using 20-pound right now, using 20-pound leader and size 1 hooks. But I also brought some 1/0 and 2/0 hooks and some 25-pound Seaguar and my little nail clippers, which I much prefer to pliers because they are quicker to use and easier to store. There's some really good sized snook that I spooked out of this dock, and there's actually some keeper snappers. I saw a couple 40s go fleeing, so we're gonna throw this shrimp up in here and see if anything comes out for it. I'll get back to you if we hook up. Either a big mangrove or a big cubera on the bait, I can't tell. He took it. Let's see if we can get him. Oh, he's big. That's a stud. That's a stud mangrove. That's a beast. Let's flip him right in. That's like a 13-14 inch mangrove. We're not keeping stuff today, but if we were keeping stuff, I'd do a catch and cook. I'm not ready to do a catch and cook video for you guys, but that's a beautiful mangrove. We're gonna let him go. The West Coast doesn't have as many mangroves as Miami and the Keys, the home waters of where I used to live, because I spent about 4 years in Miami before I came down to Southwest Florida. But in the summertime, there's some pretty large mangroves that come around here, and there's pretty good numbers of them. But in the winter, most of the mangroves are small and there's not as many. Let's see if we can get another couple. In a few weeks, I'm gonna head down to the Keys with a couple of my buddies, and then I'll do my first catch and cook video. Hopefully mangrove snappers if we can get them. They're always there. That's a huge snook going right under the boat. I'm gonna stick it in the waters. I've positioned myself on this little tree here. We're gonna see if we can yank a snook out of here. Let's see. Just kind of feathering that bait in that tree. Maybe there's a snook in there. Oh, I got took. Snappers. Small snappers. Try it one more time if this bait is still alive. Nice. They did a number on that bait. Try it one more time. Let's see. I gotta reposition. Flip it over there. Reposition the boat. There we go, that's better. Tide is too strong. Just gotta feather it and feather it and feather it. Pelicans. He's still swimming good. Just gotta place him at a good spot. Try one more time. The problem is the current's just way too strong. Probably gonna go dive my favorite rock pile right now, and then maybe do a little more fishing at a different spot that I think will hold more fish. The water clarity is absolutely perfect. It looks like we are on a tropical island today. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna go dive my secret rock pile spot, see if I can find some snook. Sometimes there's even reds out there too, and tons of sheep's head. I could take you to one of my other spots, which is like a bridge where the water is much murkier, and there's reds, sheep's head, and all kinds of little surprises in there, and tons of snook, of course. But you can do that on a rougher day with more wind. We're gonna take advantage of this beautiful day and go dive those rock piles, see what I find out there. If I get bored of that, or if we finish up with that fast and see a lot of life, I'll take you guys to the other spot. It is a beautiful day. Couldn't have asked for a better day for snorkeling. The water is so calm, and I can't wait to show you guys what's underneath. I don't know if you all can see, but there's a huge school of jacks under the water here. Alright, I just saw like a 40-pound barracuda, so I'm moving off that reef, and I'm going to try another reef that I've never been to before. It's about 200 yards down the beach. The water's so clear, at least for the west coast of Florida. It looks like it's almost as clear as like a tropical island. It's crazy. Normally you can't see like too far past your mask. You can really see today. It's wild. Alright, I made it out to this reef. You can see the rocky patch out there. There's only one person snorkeling. This reef is a little bit quieter. I've never been to this one before, so we're going to check out this reef. And then there's another reef even closer to the shore, about another 1,000 feet down the beach. You could barely make it out. It's on that point right around the bend. Then we're going to check that out, and I'll get back to you guys if I see anything cool, alright? The rocks not only hold lots and lots of fish, but they add perfect contrast to get a good image of the fish, especially in this somewhat murky west coast water, because like in the Keys, in Cuba, and in tropical islands, the water's much clearer. So the rocks give you that amazing contrast, which lets you produce that kind of good image. Not too many predator fish on this shallow reef, but it's full of bait. Glistening anchovies, sardines, glass minnows, lots of small sheep's head, lots of little grunts, pinfish, mohara, and you can see a couple snook in the background, but they're small. Man, there is just so much bait on this rocky point. There were a couple really big snook at the end. I don't know if you guys got to see those. They were about 15 or 16 feet down. It's cold out there on that 15, 20 foot deep point, but over here the water is like a bath. It's so clear over here. It's a little murkier by the rocks, but this area is extremely clear. You can see everything. There's some shallow rocks over there. I'm gonna see if there's any small fish on those. Now it's getting a little bit crowded because we're getting on midday, 10, 11 o'clock, so I'm probably gonna split in a minute. But there's a reef right out here that I've never checked out, and it seems like it goes sort of far out. I'm gonna dive this last reef and then we'll be out of here. You know, after all these years of fishing, I recently picked up freediving and snorkeling, and it's incredible to see just how much life there is in the water and just how big and just powerful and space-taking up these fish are. It just makes you gain a whole new respect for the sport of fishing. It's beautiful under there. Alright guys, so that's a wrap for today. Saw all kinds of amazing stuff in the water. Definitely one of the better days of snorkeling I've had in months. And super important, before you finish up with your snorkeling trips, as soon as you get home, you want to take your mask, any spear guns you brought, fins, just any snorkeling gear out of the car, because the plastic and silicone will corrode on the gear, and the salt will make the gear brittle over time. So you want to get it out of the heat of the car, and you want to rinse it off with some fresh water, and then stow it somewhere cool and dry, preferably inside the house and not in the garage. And as far as the shrimp that I have, if I can keep them alive, I'll be making a video with these shrimp later. The trick to keeping them alive is to use a plug-in aerator, which I have right here.